Hey Internet, and welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the legendary New Eurekan Poets Cafe. I am your host for the evening. My name is Advocate of Wordz. Happy Monday to everyone. We've got a full list, and we've got some people who we haven't heard from in a while. I am excited to talk about that. All right, so we have been doing this for 126 weeks in a row, nonstop, every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. Make sure you follow New Eurekan Poets Cafe on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Instagram, although we're not streaming on Instagram right now. And if you want to see any of our past shows, you can check us out on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. Oh, and if you happen to be watching us on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, you can join us here in the Zoom call 279-995-364. And if you happen to be watching this well into the future after we are done with tonight's open mic, that is the same number we use every Monday, so make sure that you lock it in. We'd like to thank the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York State Council on the Arts, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, the Amazon Literary Partnership, and the New York Community Trust for sponsoring our free online events. You too can help us with a tax-deductible donation by going to neweurekan.org/contribute or hitting us on the Cash App, New Eurekan Poets Cafe. Tonight, nuclear. I think today is International Day Against Nuclear Testing. I'm totally dyslexic. I'm butchering it. But that's why today's theme is nuclear. Of course, poets can flip it however they want with the word in poetic license. And of course, poets, if you signed up today and your poem is not on theme, you can totally still participate and share your poem. You need not be on theme. But if you are now saying, this is interesting, I wish I knew which themes were coming up ahead of time so I had more time to write. If you see on the right-hand side, for the next 2 months, I have laid out what our themes are going to be. So next week is party, okay? It's like the end of the summer, things are good. It's the beginning of the new fiscal year. Things are changing. We can, even before the weather changes, we could feel it because it's the beginning of the new fiscal year. Kids are back in school, all of that stuff. So next week it's going to be all party. We're going to get lit and blow it up today, and then next week we're going to party. All of that, of course, like I said, for the next for the next 8 weeks, 2 months, and you can find that not only on the Instagram and the social media, the New Eurekan Poets Cafe, but on mine. Oh wait, I snuck ahead here. Okay, yeah, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Advocate of Wordz. So I think I did skip ahead with some stuff. Yeah, because these are the people who are going to be rocking out tonight. I got to this way too early, but since we already saw it, and I'm super excited about it, if you look on the left-hand side, Stephanie Vance is back. Yup, that's like Stephanie Vance is back. I am excited to hear her poetry. And you can also see Holly Gooch is back. Holly Gooch. I am excited to see her. We got to see her briefly at the block party. Also, you can see Casey Trich. If I'm not mistaken, Casey, they've rocked out with us one time before. It's been a long time. You see Ethan at the bottom signed up, but he is unfortunately reached out to me, said he's not going to be able to make it. And folks, do you see on the right-hand side of your screen? Alexander Goldberg is here. The Goldberg is back. I am excited to hear from him. It has been months since we've heard from him. So let us get into it. I don't know how my cards got all messed up. I don't know what's next, so we're going to find out together. Okay, we're getting into the rules, apparently. Poets, when I call your name, please turn your camera on. We're looking to simulate an in-person open mic as much as possible. So please turn your cameras on. We not only want to see your beautiful faces, we not only want to see you be expressive when you share your poetry, we want to see if you cleaned your space. So turn your cameras on. As well, have your poems ready. If you're going analog style, make sure you turn to the page in the book where your poem is going to be. If you're going digital, you're reading it off a device, make sure that the file is open so that we can get to all of our poets in a timely manner. As well, poets, you've got 3 minutes to perform. Not 3 minutes and 15 seconds, 3 minutes to perform. form. We want to get to everyone in a timely manner. You also have like at max a 30-second intro. Not a minimum, but at max. Quickly let the folks know where they can find you online if you got any other stuff going on. Don't explain your poem to us. It should already be into the poem. So remember, 30-second intro max, 3 minutes max to read. As well, in terms of censorship, put the kiddies to bed. Some of our poets like to use mommy and daddy language. And on a more serious note, some of our poets are going to be sharing some things that may be vulnerable to them and it could possibly be triggering. So, thou hast been warned. There is your trigger warning. After our poets literally and figuratively cut open a main artery in their soul and create a poem and share it with us, this is going to pop up on your screen. You're going to click the blue button and you're going to shower them with appreciation. Screw your neighbors and the people that you live with. They should have been on this Zoom call anyway. We're going to give our poets love. Just like I know we got someone in the room, Elemental. He's always doing it. I don't know, man. Listen, Elemental, if MJ jumps on, you're in trouble because MJ be obnoxiously loud giving the poets love. So nonetheless, if you want to drown out Elemental, that's how you do it. All right, sign-ups begin 24 hours before the show on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. To sign up, you would visit neweureka.org and click Full Events Calendar. After you do that, you would click on the date that you're signing up for. Next week, I believe, is September 5th, so you could click on September 5th. And then you would order an artist RSVP ticket, which will place you on the open mic list. It's the only way to get onto the open mic list. So on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, that is when the artist RSVP option will come up, and then you'll be able to sign up. My apologies for last night. There was some glitch in the system. It took me a little while to fix it once I realized there was a glitch, but we were able to fix it. But I know it's like about 20 minutes in, which is like, for those of us who've been around for years, it's kind of triggering because we used to have to deal with that, where it's like every week we couldn't get it going. So we've been really good here. Last night we had some trouble, but moving forward, we should be good. Okay, later on, I am going to talk about the Wednesday Night Poetry Slam because that is going to be this Wednesday, but we're not going to talk about that right now. And later on, I'm going to talk about the workshop that I'm doing, the Let's Write a Book of Poems and all of that. But right now, wait, that's last week's open mic list. I don't know what's going in with my cards. You know what? I'm going to quit while I'm ahead, folks, because we have a beautiful lineup of poets who are going to rock out, and they're going to save my ass. And we are starting off strong because we are starting off with a collab. Yes, that's right. My cards screwed me up in the beginning of this show. Shout out to Ron Mark Thompson being in the background, helping me out. All right, not only my cards screwed me up, but it's all right. It's going to take two poets to help get this open mic started, and that is Emily Cordes and Gustav Salas. Emily, Gustav, quickly let the people know where they can find each of you online. They got two separate Instagrams and whatnot. They're just collabing on the poem. And then I'm ready for this collab. Save me! It's been a difficult opening for me. Save me.
Awesome. Thanks, Advocate. So you can find me at postmodern.psyche on Instagram. So a couple weeks ago through Finn's platform, I was teaching a tarot and poetry games workshop, and Gustav and I got inspired to do a little collaboration based on the tarot because of this. So Gustav, you want to introduce yourself and then we can take it away.
Okay, I'm Megas801 on Instagram, and this is The Fool's Journey. Part 1, The Fool. Earth, air, water, fire. The fool's journey appears quite dire. Walking blindly off a cliff, he's optimistic but will never know if the fool will fall to his death or live to breathe another breath. Each day is borrowed. Live your life. Transcend this plane of mortal strife.
Fools rush in where angels fear to tread, or maybe they ascend. Casting faith in new horizons, journeys of 1,000 miles begun, praying that your wings will work, or trusting that in falling you will learn. Buoyed up by those same open arms you throw out to the skies, for faith's a form of magic, embrace it and you'll fly. Enchantment lives in everything, beyond what eyes can see. Surrender to unknowing and face the mystery.
The Magus, a magician, the word beautician, syllabic incantations, defying expectations, verbal wands of power, a million thoughts that flower, are fragrant roses from my pen, from Kether to Malkuth and back again, a master of the pentacles with rhymes that wrap like tentacles around your brain and in your soul. Illumination is my goal. My sword of truth cuts through the air, cosmic consciousness, a family affair. The human mind, a sacred conduit to mysteries we are bound to intuit. Like water flows from cups of gold and fortune ever favors the bold. Embrace the emotions that you feel. Love is the only thing that's real.
The lovers. Love is the path. Love is the alchemy. From separateness to union, from ego to duality, from death to immortality, beyond this earthly plane, the love we share remains, an echoed canyon counterpoint against time's ceaseless refrain.
Love is the law, love under will. Love is the way, the light, and the truth, a unity and harmony divine. Though common sense plays little part in affairs of the heart, we attain the highest wisdom when we love.
Strength. When love and honor guide us, our spirits reach new heights. Base instincts tamed, not by restraint. In peace and certainty we find our might. True warriors tend gardens, mere gardeners seed war. In our divinity we rest secure.
The lion is led on a chain of flowers by a woman in the fullness of her powers. Infinite energy leaps from the card. Fortitude when times are hard. Courage will light the way, and surely you will win the day.
Life's tempests may unfold. In strength our center holds, an ever constant beacon in the skies to light our way.
The star, the moon, and the sun. You are the sun, the source of my light and inspiration. You are the moon, you light my night and give me insight. You are the star that guides this fool on his journey. In you I trust. I will love you till we both turn to dust.
And we are made of stardust, that same hydrogen and carbon. The same stars ancestors followed in the darkness now guide us. And the same dance of the seasons, sun and moon throughout the heavens, shapes our lives in cosmic cycles. In this endless wheel we spin upon, a boundless web in which we're all connected.
The wheel of fortune. Every day is a new spin on the wheel of fortune. Step right up, test your luck and manifest your will. Oh, mysterious Sphinx, what divine intent dost thou have?
But the Sphinx does not reply, her response a cryptic smile. Foolish mortals, we aspire to interpret fortune's mind, or with cards and runes divine, cheat the house's loaded die. Many fail, though all have tried, brave or foolishly defied the limits of our agency, the hidden forces governing our lives. Will we raise arms against a sea of troubles, or in our hubris on those same swords die?
The minor arcana. With this sword of truth I will to think. With this cup of water my feelings I drink. With this wand of passion I spit fire. With this pentacle of earth I am bound to this world inspired. The fool becomes the magus, master manipulator of the elements. All is love, love under will. As above, so below. As above, so below. As above, so below.
Each element in nature we possess. The mighty will not blind us by convincing us that we are powerless. The major and the minor, high and low, fool, emperor, mage, priestess, all dare to will, to know, to seek a truth that only lives within. The jester speaks this riddle, the journey ends where it begins.
King, queen, knight, page, from ecstatic joy to fits of rage, masculine, feminine, the yin, the yang, the trying, the failing, the Sturm und Drang, the minor arcana's royal suits, from beginning to end, the root to the fruits, king, queen, knight, page, the journey from fool to sage.
Fool's errand turns full circle, the world laid at our feet. The cards spread out before us yield the wisdom that we seek. One chapter ends, but even then we shuffle, cut, and deal another deck, ceaseless in our striving, tireless in our quest. For even when the path demands we leap from towers and confront our devils, we journey onward up the hill with grace and heart and reverence. unite the elements into cosmic consciousness. Behold.
This is the greatest story ever told. Thank you.
Thank you.
Unmute yourselves and give some love to Emily and Gusto.
All right.
Good. Great job, guys.
That was dope. That was dope.
Make sure, Emily and Gustav, you put your information into the chat so that people can copy and paste. Also, to let everyone know, I saw Emily has already done it. You can change your Zoom name to include your social media handle so that after people hear your poetry, they can follow more on you. Gustav is going to be up here. He said in 2 weeks, I believe, right? He's going to be up here for a hybrid. I'll mention that later. Excited to see him. Hopefully, Emily stops by again. She was here last hybrid and on last Wednesday as well, of course. Yeah, if y'all don't know, Emily used to work here in the dungeons at the New Rican Poets Cafe, and she had helped set up the online open mics that we do now well over 2 years ago. So make sure you go give her a follow, give her some love. All right, let's continue on now. Oh, and just if anyone was sitting there and timing them, right? So when we do collabs, if there's two people who have each signed up on the open mic and they want to do a collaborative poem, they can combine their 3 minutes. So that's what it was. So those of you who may be new to our open mics and they're interested in doing something like that, you can get down like that. But both people need to sign up. With that being said, we are going to Nico. Let me unmute Nico up. Listen, folks, Nico did his hair up, right? Because
why'd I do that?
Because yesterday at the workshop, I had commented because Nico is normally done to the nine, so he tried to steal my girlfriend, right? Mariella, who he already knows has a crush on him, right? And now, because I mentioned, he's like, nope, now I'm calling my hair done up. You can't say nothing. Nico,
let's the thing. Oh, I woke up like this. It's like no effort.
Hey, listen, Nico,
Yeah.
Next time you need to come down and be in the cafe during the workshop because afterwards we had a salsa jam. I'm going to tell everyone about it later. Right now, we're not going to talk salsa unless it's in Nico's poem. Nico, let the folks know where they can find you online, and then the floor is yours.
Right. You know, guys, if it works for Dua Lipa, it'll work for me. I will never come to another open mic event without my hair done because bullying works. All right. So and last week I got bullied too because I was told like, you got to cut it short. No intro. So hi, I'm Nico Diaz. I'm a queer Afro-Latinx poet from the Bronx. And without further ado, you can find me on Instagram at nicodiaz.nyc. And I'm going to do this poem. No title yet, so I'd love recommendations. Their days and nights were punctuated by the other's voice. Best friends, that's all they told the world, themselves. A Venn diagram, individual lives overlapping, blurred as the boundaries they never did set. Did you really like that shirt, or did you like it because you knew he would like it? Did you really want to go to that club, or did you go because you knew he wanted to go? Did you really enjoy sucking some stranger's cock in the bathroom, or did you suck that cock because he found his own someone? So you needed to keep up. Needed to prove to him, the world, yourself, that you too could be desired, that you too could be a slut. Or did you do it to make him jealous, in the chance that it'd rage him to the point where he would hit you? The black eye, a badge of honor, irrefutable proof that he loved you so much, his passion, his ire, consumed all reason. In love, violence beats indifference, wildfire over withholding. After the fire fades, the smoke clears, the ash settles, you lick each other's wounds, vowing not to do it again. Now, as you canoodle, commingle, recant the sordid details of your respective hookups, getting each other hot and horny again, how deep you could throw the cock in the bathroom stall, how long he lasted fucking the guy in the stall next to yours, how you could hear each other's breath, moan, and slurp the entire time, how he came at the exact same moment as you swallowed your lover's load, how tomorrow you'd feel just as empty and drained as the balls you just tugged at, how badly you didn't want this to end, but didn't want it to continue. Righty, thank you guys. Again, you can find me at Nico Diaz at NYC, and Thank you.
Give some energy to Nico.
Rich.
Wow, Nico.
Yes.
Beautiful storytelling.
Always dope to hear you, Nico.
Nico Diaz, make sure you go give him a follow. Nico, put your info into the chat so the people know where they could give you a follow. We are lazy. We need to copy and paste. Nico Diaz.NYC on Instagram. Yeah, so I had mentioned earlier before I talked about I'll get into my workshop later on, but the last Sunday of every month we are having a salsa jam here in the cafe. We rocked out last night for like 3 hours and it was so awesome. They are a band from Puerto Rico who moved here to New York City. Last Sunday of every month here at the cafe, we're dancing salsa. Mariella and I were cutting up a rug. I'm just saying, we're cutting up a rug, all right? We also, Claudia was there from the community. I think Claudia is also on the open mic list. I don't know where she's at. And then Ronan Rose was there too. So, and of course, like the New York regulars, the New York fam. Y'all gotta come check it out. With that being said, let's get into our next poet, Mr. Rich Daddy Glennon, who's about to be a daddy 2 times over. But you gotta come to the cafe before your second child is born, all right, Rich? All right? Because I know what's gonna happen when you have your second child. We're not gonna see you for months. Rich, let the good folks know where they can find you online, and then the microphone is yours.
Thank you. I will. I promise to come, but I'm not going to come on salsa night because I will ruin the whole night. I can't dance. I could barely bob my head. Yep. So I'm Rich Glennon on Instagram and Tumblr, and here's 3 short ones for you. The first one is called Meeting People. Meeting people is hard, but worth it. We're all born into the arms of strangers. Imagine if we shied away from them, their sloppy faces, foreheads stamped with stray curls, scared maybe even more than us, and instead pretended we didn't see them in their screaming blue scrubs, and belly bounced into the hallway to make an imaginary phone call, much more comfortable with these disinterested strangers swishing by, to whom our stubs of cord can't connect. All right, this next one is called Numbers. Take away my rights and leave me where they sleep all day, where they fade and the numbers on the caged clock seep into its milky eye, where wind chimes flock to dreams and cackle like checkers. And the last one is called The Dance. Lately, backaches flourish unexpectedly, and when I lie down a certain way, the meat surrounding my knee flutters like a turkey in heat. My 30-year-old body is whispering under gravity's piano, letting me know that I will soon warp into the curved organ, that my teeth will ebonize, that the throb in my leg will borrow beats from my grave heart. It's one step forward, 2 steps back, catching bird droppings with my graying crown. Thank you.
Woo! Oh, beautiful, sweet.
Second baby. Howdy, Rich.
Your writing is just something else.
Tell him about it, Rich. Tell him about it.
Rich Daddy Clinton. And all of these open mics are recorded so his kids could go see how daddy was doing, what he was really thinking, and what he was saying during adult time. Because you see right now he's hanging out in the kitchen, which is letting me know it's far away from the family right now. A real daddy there doing his adult thing, adult time. Rich Clinton, a mainstay member here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic. Can't wait to have you in the actual cafe, Rich. Rich Glennon, go give him a follow. He's on Tumblr. Next coming up, she came last week. She rocked out, right? It was last week, right? Last week he rocked out. And I was like, oh, I hope you come back. I hope you recognize you done messed up because you're going to have to be here every Monday. And she is keeping with it. Veronica Taylor is back for a second time. Veronica, a pleasure to have you. It's the same as always. Please let the folks know where they can find you online, and then we're ready for your poetry, sis.
My Instagram, I put it in the chat, and this poem is called Mama Earth Said You Better Clean. Mama said, you better get up and clean. And there went our Sunday mornings. Mama, our Mother Earth, sat on the kitchen floor, disembodied and broken, fussing over our rowdy escapades. She awakened us with the smell of terpenes, and cicadas hummed through the walls. Nature's Pine Sol and Erykah Badu. There was no doubt about it. It was time to clean. You broke my china and new vase, and I'm surprised we didn't get beat. You scratched the wood floor, spilled juice on the carpet, colored the walls in ashy gray, and whatever you did to the poor dogs and birds, they ain't ever coming out of the corner. I don't live here by myself. She shakes us together, and we begin to clean. We mopped up our industrial decay, swept our ill intentions away, yet still remained the stains of brutal sibling rivalry. The damage caused couldn't be fixed, with all the money stashed in Mommy's cookie jar. We made her cry too many tears. The wells she had pumping between her have run dry, her face a desert. To soothe her, we brushed her hair, burned soft honeycombs, bowed to her sturdy legs, and begged for forgiveness. Sundays were her time of cleansing. Sundays were her time of rebirth. Our disobedience became her carnage, and there was no more to clean, just to release. Mama Earth said, you better clean.
What? Give it up for Veronica, y'all.
Veronica.
Natural storytelling.
Yeah.
That's some natural
There you
storytelling.
go.
Beautifully
executed.
So
sweet.
powerful.
Sweet.
I am glad that Veronica realized that she messed up and that she has to now come here every Monday because back to back, you were 2 for 2, Veronica, 2 for 2. She has come here last week and this week, and both weeks she has rocked out. Veronica, again, put your info in the chat. I know you got some new fans and some new people who are going to remind you, yo, Veronica, it's Monday again. Veronica, it's Monday again. Make sure you're there. Veronica Taylor, one of the new members of the cafe, our Monday Night Online Open Mic. I'm loving it, and let's keep it going. Next coming up is a mainstay member. I got to see her this weekend when we debuted the documentary, and I hope that she comes out and salsas with us because she does come to a lot of events that we do. I'd like to see her at a non-poetry performance event and just dancing, and that is Deadpan Lizzie. It is good to see you as always, Beanie God. Let the folks know where they can find you online, and then we're ready for your poetry.
Good to see you, brother, and I love the documentary. Congratulations to you and the Bruja and the staff at the cafe. I'm not the best salsa dancer, but if anyone wants to give me like a salsa lesson, I'm down to, work on my moves on a Sunday night. So Beanie blessings, everyone. You can find me on IG, ES_Strauss. This is for this prompt, but it's also for, Fincabulary. I missed her prompt, punk rock music last night. So it's a combined prompt. It's called Layers. The music that bleeds through my eardrums, down my throat, into my stomach and out my pores, feels toxic like the solutions we feed into our seas, the grass and soils that hold us upright, or tries to, as it anxiously lives alongside us. I am disco, so the anti-punk rock. My body moves better with a boogie oogie oogie, rather than sedated by the energies that feel lost, that continues to burn our ozones, flares decaying, like the music that bleeds through my eardrums, down my throat, into my stomach and out my pores, sometimes confidently unsure what we feed into our seas. My DNA is not built for poisonous dosages, what some fuel themselves with daily. The music that bleeds through my eardrums, down my throat, into my stomach and out my pores. The lyrical, helpful solutions we feed into our seas. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves and give that pen Lindsay some energy.
Lizzie, get it again.
Deadpan Lizzie, make sure you give her a follow at ES_Strauss, a published author, and she has also published an anthology. Make sure you give her a follow. You can find out all about that stuff. Deadpan Lizzie, a mainstay member here. And we're going to another mainstay member. He is a bard amongst poets. It's my man, Mr. Testasomo. Brother, it is always a pleasure to have you on. Listen, on Thursdays, we do music as well as poetry, and you can hear him singing over there. But right now, he be giving us his poetry. So let us know what we're getting into, man. Oh, let the people know where they can find you first.
Sure, folks can catch me on Instagram under Gashes 2019, title of my book right behind me. I gotta jump in because I may run out of time. So Frank New in 1985. When you have a government that prefers a certain moral code derived from a certain religion, and that moral code turns into legislation to suit one certain religious point of view, if that code happens to be very, very right-wing, almost towards Attila the Hun, Frank Zappa. Frank knew back in 1985, it's a hard thing to imagine such foresight, whether prophetic, speculative, or pure coincidence. We were barely coming out of the 70s OPEC embargoes and the long gas lines. Surveillance became the American wound, and eventually internalized self-surveillance became the moniker of the 70s. The first hint of peak oil, peak union labor, and peak white power. It was the death knell of the 20th century American dream. We just didn't know it for another decade. It was the onset of postmodern narco identity, the stoner with the designer van shoes, skunky BO, and feather shaggy hairstyles, varsity cheerleaders, preppy girls clubs, with early onset of yeast production with synthetic and extremely tight Jordache jeans leading to inner thigh burning blisters, young women jeopardizing their future fertility from burning, itching, and unwanted discharges, trapped from moisture blocked by overly tight inner garments, chola gangs with way too much eyeliner from the lapidary tweezers and Aquanet holding up their wings, trying to attract sanganos with its phthalates that induce male reproductive dysfunctions. The skaters with their postmodern Orientalism with trademark OP shirts, which the cholos called otro puto, shirts with nostalgic reconstructions of surfing imperialism. Fabric stone wallets with first scene Velcro screen printed with reciprocal causal scenes of Hawaiian surfing culture, the uneven, paradoxical, interconnected, mutually implicated cultural transactions. At the time in the mid-'80s, labeled the sign of the times, it was the age of Ronald Reagan. The temporal neatness, 1980 to 1989, Reagan became the embodiment of post-war America. He's just as simple and just as mysterious as our collective dreams and memories. Gary Willis. Reagan would become the geometric gimmick representing demand and desire, the Mobius strip metaphor of relation between subject and speech, the cross-cap structure of fantasy of restored American identity reaffirmed. I didn't hear Frank Zappa on the mainstream radio station. He was too controversial to be aired and didn't play well with the record companies. His musical talents were labeled by Columbia Records as having, quote, no commercial potential. The first time I heard him was on Dr. Demento's Sunday night show that was syndicated from 78 to 92, fitting well with the decade. Barry Hansen Eugene, better known as Dr. Demento on KMAT 94.7 FM Sunday nights, competing with Joe Benson on KLOS 95.5 FM with his seventh day, 7 classic rock albums in their entirety. But it was a hard sell against Don't Eat the Yellow Snow, Nanook, Watch Out Where the Huskies Go. And closing with St. Alfonso's Pancake Breakfast, it would be these types of novelty lyrics that Dr. Demento would play on his show, and the same ones that would haunt him with his PMRC issues. It was the era of advanced placement, AP classes, pre-SATs, LSAT, MCATs, and we were still dreaming of an affordable college education. It was the peak of boomer wealth, where those in their 30s own 21.3% of the nation's wealth. Today, millennials, Gen Xers, Gen Zers, and own less than 5% of the nation's wealth. Grover Norquist's famous quote, "I'm in favor of abolishing government. I just want to shrink it down to the size where we can drown it in a bathtub," planted the forthcoming attempt at ending American flavor democracy. The 42-year-long process with Reagan, massive tax cuts amplified by trillions more for the morbidly rich, from the George W. Bush and Donald Trump administrations, has produced a 50 trillion transfer of wealth from the middle class to the 1%, leading them to try to end the 240-year democratic self-governance and have actively embraced neo-fascist autocracies, openly trying to emulate the right-wing strongman governments that have taken over Russia and Hungary, very much contrary to Reagan's original hardline against similar Eastern European governmentalities. For this, Tom Hartman would later apologize to Americans for failing to stop Ronald Reagan.
Oh,
Unmute yourself and give it up for the Tez Talk from Tez.
Ah, what a history lesson. Brilliant. Love Frank Zappa.
Robert Crook, man.
I wish I could read it again.
Welcome to his Tez Talk. Mr. Testosomo, Gaseous 2019, hit him up on Instagram and Facebook. I heard someone, I think it was on Conto, yelled it out like, oh, I want to read it again. Reach out to Mr. Testosomo and be like, yo, how do I hear it again? Go give him a follow. All right. So, I heard Zonconto, right? But I got Elemental in the room and MJ Blackwell, who tend to be the loudest when giving it up for the people. But that time I heard Zonconto. I don't know, man. Maybe we're gonna crown a new champion. It been Elemental for a while, but like I said, MJ Blackwell came in, and I don't know. And now Zonconto. All right. We're about to find out. We're going to keep testing it with all these poets like Stephanie Vance. Stephanie, where have you been? Stephanie is a mainstay member, well, was a mainstay member, and then she abandoned us. We hope she wants to be another mainstay member. I love this woman's poetry. I'm so happy. I was so excited when I saw your name on the list. I hope all is well with you. We got the same rules. Let us know where we can find you online so we can remind you that Monday comes every week and you should be here with us. And then let's get into your poetry, sis. I hope all is well.
All is well. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, it's just summer, man. Summer got away from me. What can I tell you? You can find me on Instagram at Steph Makes Faces, Instagram and Twitter at Steph Makes Faces. I'll post some links in the chat and when I'm done. And now for something totally different. This is a piece called Little Rage Monster. The jabronis of New York City like nothing more than to give a woman a hard time. The jabronis of New York City don't like it so much when you hassle them back. A jabroni by any other name is just some guy you are supposed to ignore. You are supposed to pay no mind. You are supposed to let it slide. But a group of jabronis large enough is called an insufferable, and sometimes I cannot suffer silently. There is a little rage monster in my heart. She is small, but she is mighty. And on this particular day, with this particular insufferable, she snapped the nuclear option through the crowd, through the taunts and jeers coming her way, a loud, proud, shut the fuck up. My little rage monster flew out of my mouth before I could breathe her away. My little rage monster got the best of me. Got the better of me, 1,000 years of anger behind it, limbs tingling with aftershock from words I didn't want to say. Little rage monster, where do you come from? Little rage monster, where do you go? Little rage monster, you'll get me into trouble someday. Because no one knows what to do with a little rage monster in the heart of a woman, least of all an insufferable of jabronis just having some fun. And why don't you lighten up a bit? We're only joking around. There is no way to tell them they are not funny. There is only pleading for a moment's peace in a language they might understand. And of all the little monsters trapped inside me, the one that wants peace should be the one allowed to breathe. Do not test me, acquiesce to me, and she will be peace too. Little rage monster, where do you come from? Little rage monster, where do you go? Little rage monster, you'll get me into trouble someday.
Oh, give it up to Stephanie. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta keep
Come on, little rage
All of that
monster.
heat
Come on.
Yes.
Thank you,
Wanna
thank you.
keep your-
What? Stephanie Vance at Steph Makes Faces. You see why I was happy to see her name was on the list? You see why I'm feeling some type of way because she hasn't been around here in a while? Her poetry, her writing is phenomenal. Thank you, Stephanie. Of course, I'm sorry you've had to go through that. I love the poem, though. I'm sorry you've had to go through that. You know, that's been something that's, at least right now within my vicinity, has been talked a lot about a lot around the cafe. And I've been talking with my lady about it and talking with her, you know, with friends about it. So I appreciate that we're talking about it, and I really hope it's making headway. You know, like we're in 2022, people, and I feel like it's like we're still. Yeah, all right. I got to continue to open mic. But you know what? If you want to continue this conversation about Stephanie's poem, go give her a follow. And remind her on Sunday, hey, Stephanie, the next day is Monday. You know you're supposed to be. All right. We're now going out to Japan with my man, Poetic, who we actually haven't heard from, I think, in quite several weeks, maybe. But, or maybe Hybrid. Wait, did he rock a Hybrid? Poetic rocked it? No, he didn't. We didn't get to. I feel like I haven't heard him in a while, but he's always around and giving love, and I appreciate that. Poetic, let the folks know where they can find you online. And then y'all, if y'all don't know who this man is, right? If you don't understand what you're about to experience, I hope that you're sitting down. Make sure that, like Rich Daddy Glennon, you kick the kids out of the kitchen. Be like, it's mine right now for the next 3 minutes. Poetic, the floor is yours, brother. Good to see you.
Oh, so good to see you again, Advocate and New York poet. Tonight, this is on my account, Twitter, IZ, POETAQ50, and also YouTube channel, Poetry Reading by Poetic. Tonight, for teacher advocates, I will give you my homework, assignment, Love and Nakuria. I will perform it to the dance beats like like in Beyonce's new album Renaissance. So I hope you all love it. Let's get started. Love and Nakuria, love and Korea, love and Korea. Love and Korea. Love and Korea. When a neutron strikes, millennium atom. Love and Korea. Love and Korea. It splits into krypton, barium, and neutron. Love and Korea. Love and Korea. I don't wanna love triangle anymore. Love and Korea. Radioactive decay due to the energy of the festival. We can measure the position and velocity of electrons at the same time exact. The existence can be indicated by probability, the electron cloud. If you love someone, set them free. Set them free. If you lack self-confidence, you will set them better. Fear makes a helium nucleus that binds with hatred and envy. We should spit out the solid band to regain stability. Be yourself is the root of well-being. Don't let censure, contempt, and cheating interfere with your trajectory. Schrödinger was a genius who made a quantum leap to several lovers. He avoided the maximum entropy named death by sperma radiating power. The magic wand of quantum theory protects their bodies from crossover. But don't worry about heartbreak. Extremely tiny neutrinos have been passing through you harmlessly, ever and ever. E equals MC squared. Negative times negative equals positive. Pain and happiness are proportional. Chromosomal chronicle that have been in corporeal years like Aphrodite since time immemorial. The Big Bang, the created quantum coherence and universal gravitation like Brahma is an amazing miracle, 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 miracle. It's you! Havana Korea. Thank you so much.
Fuck it up, poetic.
This dude's a fucking
Fuck it
genius,
up.
man.
The root of well-being.
What you are
I
amazing.
love that. I love that.
Love and nuclear.
Yes.
Oh, poetic! Make sure you go check him out. He got this stuff on YouTube, folks. All right, don't leave just yet. All right, we still got plenty of people gonna rock out here on the Monday night. But afterwards, go check this man out on YouTube and on Twitter. And the good folks in Japan know about us. We've been on the FM radio stations out there. At least, you know, talked about what we're doing because of this man, Poetic. Go give him a follow. My brother in Japan getting up super early to be with us. I appreciate you, man. I hope all is well with you. Always a pleasure to see you. All right. Who I don't see is our next poet, Royal James. I don't see Royal James, who's awesome, and I wish he was here because we can hear stuff. I see Doug Silver, shout out to Professor Platinum. I see Paul Conqueso, who, if he is around, we will hear from him in a little bit later because Hybrid's coming up and After Party Karaoke's coming up, and I think there's an 80s theme. I'm not sure, we'll talk to him later. I do see Paul Skiff, the OG, the true Lower East Sider. He's here, and all these people I'm saying about, they're not even on the open mic list. They're coming to hang out with us, like Kemlin. I see Kemlin here, Mia Aguilera, I see her. Okay, so that means Claudia is next, right? So where is Claudia? I don't see, no, I don't see Claudia here. Are you here, Claudia? No, I see Nancy Helgeson. Shout out to Nancy Helgeson. I see Whitney Salgado is in the building. I did see Mr. Speaker. Did he? No, he's still there. I see Mr. Speaker here. I see Thomas Koza, who I still don't know who they are. I love their avatar. They're here. Did Deadpool Head leave? I don't know if y'all in the Zoom got to see Deadpool Head. That was funny. But they're here too. But okay, so Justin Ramsey. Is Justin Ramsey here? No. I don't see Justin Ramsey on the sign. They signed up. I don't see him. I see Joshua Love. Joshua Love looks like they're in transit right now, but they are here. I appreciate that. Oh, there's a Deadpool hand too. Yes, Deadpool hand too. I saw that as well. Rob Bremner. Rob Bremner is dope, and he finally shared with us for like the last 2 weeks. He's not sharing tonight, but I appreciate you, Ron. Marsha Rivera, I see is here. Appreciate Marsha. Denisha's becoming the hug. Denisha's here all the time. Terry Rose Jertson is here. All these people aren't on the open mic list. They've just come to hang out and listen to poetry, and I love it. And Raw James and Claudia and Justin Ramsey aren't here, but it's aight, because we going to Holly Googe. And I know Holly Googe is all kinds of hyped up right now, because after Poetic dropped what he dropped, Holly Googe went nuts. I heard you, girl. I loved it.
That shit was fire. I was like, fuck it. Is he still here? That was fire, sir. That was fire. That was lit.
And you are fire as well, Holly. Give Holly a follow at Holly Googe. Tell her she needs to come around here more often. We quickly got to see her. I got to briefly speak with her during the block party. I am happy to know I'm about to hear your poetry, sis. Guys, the floor is yours.
All right. So, damn. I'm hyped. All right. So my first poem is called Butterflies. They say butterflies in your stomach are a sign that you're in love. So they flutter and bop, giving me flip-flops of emotional hopscotch games we play to see if this will be the day we stop looking for love. But these butterflies fluttering don't feel like love. I feel sick, nauseous, and I want to hide, quick. I felt anxious, clammy, and withdrawn, wanting to be picked, desiring to be seen, believing I need a special kind of love found in fairy tales and romantic comedies. To be loved for me does not equate to that tingly feeling living in my gut space. Those tingles got in the way of expressing my love, my desire quenched by outdated cliches. I want my love to shine like a sun shares its rays, to glow like the light of fireflies, blending in harmony with the crickets in the eve of summertime. And those damn butterflies betrayed me, opened me up to the floodgates of hurt, pain, and insecurities, ... Silence takes over in the space where I would open my mouth, but no words come to play. There's nothing more to see, only a flash in my mind of you and me. We aren't stable together. No, matter of fact, we barely met, but our eyes locked, we caught a step. The sound of your voice, rich baritone, slim tenor, waves of sound that vibrate into my body, awakening me. Cool it now, baby girl, you don't even know his name. Oh, but I do know him. Girl, you don't even know if this man can read, let alone if he's healed on his journey. True, you right. You reach for my hands and I blink my eyes, wondering if your steps to this song will match with mine. Peering through the windows of my soul as your eyes look back into mine, time stills, then moves again. My heart skipping beats, pumping at a new percussive rhythm, spurring thoughts of curiosity. Is it safe? Can we date? Nah, don't think too much. Slow down. Just breathe. No rush. Just be. And those damn butterflies swirling in my chest as I peer out from behind the gates to my inner world, deep with vivid colors, dimensions, and space. I'm not talking marriage. In my mind, we've already traveled to outer space. We're on the Milky Way, levitating between our galaxy, this universe, and a world we haven't seen. All of the lights beam, emotions swell up as I open up my mouth to say, hey, how you doing? And maybe just for tonight, just for this moment, these jazzy butterflies won't betray me, won't display my insecurities. Just this one time, I can stand still, and the light you shine, whatever color you choose to be, I hope it warms me like golden hours before sundown, and we dip into the next song. Poem. Yum yum.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for Holly Gooch.
Holly.
Yeah, keep coming back.
My last name is Love.
That was
Actually.
dope. That was nice. That was dope.
Thanks.
Holly Gooch, give her a follow at Holly Gooch. You see, it was right there in her Zoom box. Holly, I'm so happy you came back. Come back next week. Come back to hybrid. Come back in person. This one, the kind of beautiful energy she gives on Zoom, she gives in person as well. Go give her a holler. Remind her about the New Rican Poets Cafe. Remind her about Mondays. Do not let her get away, folks. All right? Do not let her get away. All right. Let's continue on. Shout out also to Judy Lynn. I don't know if Judy is still in here, but I saw a Judy Lynn in here checking us out and listening in. I think Judy left, but shout out to Judy. I appreciate you listening in. All right, we're going to Mariah. Where's Mariah? I did see Mariah. There's Mariah. Let me unmute Mariah, who has been to the cafe once, and you know, I don't know what's up, Mariah. You haven't returned. I don't know. Should I feel some type of way? Should I feel some type of way? I'm teasing you. Mariah, let the folks know where they can find you online, and then we ready for your fire.
Thanks. Hi, everyone. I'll post my Instagram information in the chat after I go. This first piece is titled Our Joy Too. Just before slave ships and smallpox blankets, you said, look above Mount Rushmore towards ancestral stars. And I said, can you help me breathe in and breathe out? If you need me, I'll be in the womb of the Black Panthers and swing those sweet Harriet songs. I saw a map of the Underground Railroad and sang, lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmony of what we've always been. You're in my blood like holy rage. You taste so liberating and smell like home. And I will sing of our joy too, darling, for my generation too, for my generation too. That's the first piece. And my final piece is titled Drag Queen. When cisgender folks get confused about my gender, I just tell them, if you think of me as a drag queen, it will make your life so much easier. And they're like, so you're a man who dresses like a woman? And I say, yes, but I also want to say that my mother raised me to fight for my joy and tell the truth. And if that's the only thing I do in my life, I will have lived a wonderful life. She didn't really understand my being a drag queen, but she loved the pieces of me that she didn't understand. I was raised by a Black woman and socialized as a Black girl. And if you weren't raised up that way, then you will never understand how Black women make sure you know that you are worthy of safety, protection, and love before you explore this stolen land that isn't safe, doesn't protect us, and doesn't love us. She doesn't understand my being a drag queen, but she always loved this drag queen. She always fought for the joy of this drag queen. She always told the truth to this drag queen. And so, yes, I am a drag queen because my gender expression reflects my mother, who would give her life for this drag queen, the pieces of me she doesn't understand, but fights for anyway. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Mariah.
I'm crying. That was so beautiful.
Closing
That's
is
Mariah.
on a level.
Real.
That was a beautiful closing. Wow.
Mariah, we are lucky to call Mariah one of our own, a mainstay member here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic, and someone who knows how to make their way to the New Rican Poets Cafe, and is sure going to a whole lot this fall, bringing that fire poetry and that fire hat, spreading the joy of a lovely mother. You need to, here, Mariah. Go give Mariah a follow. Mariah, put your info into the chat, please, so that those who don't follow you already go and start to follow you. Listen, Listen, folks, coming up next is someone that I haven't heard from in a very long time. Okay, I'm going to keep the suspense going just a little bit because it is an hour into this, and we have had some people come on late. And I do want to let you know you are at the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the legendary New Eurekan Poets Cafe. We stream every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. If you happen to be watching it on one of those platforms and you'd like to join us on Zoom, you'll see on the left-hand side of your screen the number 279-995-364, but it's about to go to the bottom of the screen because we're moving to the next one. See, it's still there in the bottom of the screen, but if you want to give me a follow, I am on YouTube, I'm on Instagram and Twitter at Advocate of Wordz. I post all the events that I'm involved in. I got some new snazzy hats for me and my squad, so you could go check that out over there. A bunch of the things I'm doing, and of course a bunch of the things that I'm doing here with the New Eurekan Poets Cafe as the program manager. We got things coming up, but I'll talk about that later. Our sign-up list for tonight is closed. Sign-ups begin 24 hours before the show on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. To sign up, you would visit neweurekan.org and click Full Events Calendar. After doing so, you would click on the date you want to sign up for. Next week is September 5th, so you'd click on the 5th, and then you would get an artist RSVP ticket. It is the only way to sign up for the open mic list, and that option does not become available until Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Now, this Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern is the Wednesday Night Poetry Slam here at the New Eurekan Poets Cafe. It is our last. Every Monday and Wednesday, we did a summer special of $5 entry fee. This is going to be the last summer special, just $5 to come into the slam. Whether you want to slam or whether you just want to watch it or come hang out, is this Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. We have been packing the house with it. I've been having such an enjoyable time with it, meeting so many different types of poets. And we got to see some people from the slam community come to the block party. I'm always looking to integrate the different communities we have, because here at the cafe, we have our open mic community that comes on Mondays here in the cafe. Then we have like our online community where this is like the hub where we meet, although our online community represented really well at the block party. And then we got our slam community, which is on Wednesdays and Fridays. Make sure that you come and you check that out. Also, every Sunday from 6 to 8 p.m., we have our Let's Write a Book of Poems workshop. It really should say more like 6 to 8:30, 6 to 9, right? Because we don't stop, all right? And then like everyone attends my class. You are an enabler. We are supposed to be done at 8. I always keep it going longer than that. And y'all stick around. Y'all do not be like, yo, we out. It's over at 8. We out. I adore y'all very much. Make sure you check it out. Let's Write a Book of Poems. We go over writing prompts. We generate poems. We go over different types of writing theories, different challenges, and then we also work a lot on critiquing one another. I think that's something I would like to see more of, like within different writing circles, right? Like an open mic is not the place for it, but you really got to a writing circle where people start to challenge you, and it's really been great what's been coming out. So that's what I wanted to talk about. I've stalled enough. Now we got to get to the Goldberg. Alexander Goldberg is back. Oh my God. Where have you been, brother? It has been so long. For those who don't know, Alexander Goldberg is like one of the originals during the Monday Night Online Open Mic. I cannot remember a day where we were doing these online open mics and he wasn't part of it, except for recently. Brother, I hope all is well with you. Welcome back. What's going on? Talk to me.
Yeah, so after February 24th, the war in Ukraine really got me off of my writing and performing rhythm. But I'm slowly getting back, slowly but surely. I'm writing again, I'm performing again. So, and plus to tonight's theme is nuclear. So I had to join in to perform. So on a more serious note, there is a nuclear threat going on right now, and the world is on the verge of a nuclear disaster. So the global community should really intervene and prevent it as fast as possible. So this is the poem that I wrote. unprecedented situation. There's no release of radiation. Last week, nuclear power station stopped like it never did before. We should demand full dedication. We should attempt the restoration. They try to blackmail the whole world with all these warheads that they hold. They try to play with a bad card. They had a plan. It fell apart. The threat from Russia does exist. All hostile actions must be ceased. They left Chernobyl long ago. Today, they should be forced to go. They must accept the proposition. IAEA will send commission. Only in their imagination, they hope to meet their expectations. They force employees to admit it is Ukraine that bears the guilt. But they must give evaluations about equipment at the station. All countries must adopt the sanctions for not upholding obligations. Instead of giving them the access, Russians want loyalty from experts. But we should follow the instructions before we make any reactions. Before the Russians take advantage, I'll use mommy and daddy language and send them deep below the ground where Russian warship can be found. Today, the world has to move faster to stop them and prevent disaster. The common sense has to take over. They can't use Adam as a soldier. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for the Goldberg, Alexander Goldberg.
Goldberg. Good to hear you, man. Welcome back. Hope everything's good with your family, man.
Yes.
I miss that voice, Alexander Goldberg. Brother, I've not forgotten me and you need to go skydiving, but when things calm down, but we still need to go skydiving. A mainstay member here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic. Like I said, I hope all is well with you, man. You are always welcome back. Listen, no matter how much time people of late, I keep hearing everyone saying, yo, life is life, and I 400% get it. I hope everyone knows that we tease you when we say, where have you been? Where have you been? We want you back because we appreciate having you around. So, Alexander, you are always welcome to come back, brother. I hope it is so good to hear your voice. Alexander Goldberg, a mainstay member here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic. Next, I want to call up, because he does such a wonderful job for us behind the scenes, and he does work for us that is not even necessarily for public consumption, and I appreciate him, and that is Mr. Ron Mark Thompson, the producer of tonight's event. Mr. Ron Mark Thompson, please let the people know where they can find you online, what you got going on, and yeah, who our next couple of poets are going to be. Take it away, brother.
Thank you so much, Advocate. Pleasure to be here helping out every Monday. You can personally find me on the internet, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Ron Mark Thompson, and my organization, Bronx Art and Fun Up at BXAFH. I just put that in the chat. And for those who haven't yet signed up, tomorrow, Tuesday, the last Tuesday of each month, Fincabulary hosts an online karaoke, and tomorrow I will be the guest host, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. I put the Eventbrite link in there. Everyone is, welcome to sign up. We're having a good time. And speaking of karaoke, I know Advocate already mentioned it. I think we're going to hear from Paul a little bit later on. It's only 2 weeks away till we have our next in-person and hybrid online open mic karaoke at the New Regan Poets Cafe. So please check us out there as well. All right, let me introduce our next performer, which is Messiah or Messiah Payne. I know we heard from Messiah last week. I'm happy that you're returning to us again. And just like your name, I know you always bring powerful lines, powerful poetry to us. So Messiah, please let everyone know who you are and then go ahead with your poem.
Sure, thanks a lot. My name is Messiah. I'll put my information in the chat when I'm finished. I want to read a poem for you all. It's called Love Between Dancing Stars and Illusions. Where you are near, you exist still so far from me. You stand in pain between what I conceive foolishly as my capacity to understand. What endured evils impute your intramural torment in a deceptive psychic heaven of your own creation, which seems to degenerate at a wisp of my touch? In your being, you imply the gravity of all my embracing inhalation, collecting you in your every struggling, grasping breath, an inch from your illusory heaven's fallacious center, where haven and peace follow on the haunches of death's protuberant regime. You wither at the call you heed beyond our mutual frailty, within which I seek to found enrichment of indissoluble growth in the consummate hidden gaiety of your soul. For the center you seek is not in your illusions. You and I, bound by the dissolution of our boundaries, fixed in a seamless marriage of bonded soul. All that you are, I know in me. What you think I am exists in the strength of your fantasies. Will you never realize me? Am I but a soft balm to your wounds, a temporary antithesis to your aloneness, it's striking at your roots, your recognition of weary form? I come formless to your threshold, voided of knowing, an instinct to disorder, as your being is lifted past the alienating descent of transience and into the reality that is my whole self. Be with me there, to find me where I am, where we are, and know that love can never exist in your hell, nor your heaven, but here in our union, a platitude collected in the arms of infinite space, the sweet affect of our stars dancing brilliantly in revelatory nights to soothe the vitriolic of our distances. Only when you descend the steps, set aside your blindness, meet love where it exists, truly and all at once in us, resplendent in us. Thank you.
Thank you, Messiah. Everyone, please unmute yourself and give love back to Messiah,
That
please.
was gorgeous.
Messiah.
That was
Yeah, Messiah!
He is the source.
Yeah.
Real. That dude roars every time he rips, man. Love to hear you, dog.
Your words are powerful. Your words are powerful.
Amazing, amazing. So many quotable lines, such powerful poetry. You got so much love from us in the chat, in the Zoom chat, and obviously verbally as well. Messiah, thank you for coming back here on Monday. I think we've seen you on Thursdays as well. So thank you for all your support. We keep seeing you. All right, coming up next, we have, we're going back international. Alexandra from Greece. Alexandra, are you there? I'm going to ask you to unmute and start. I know you did mention that your camera is not working, but can we just check the audio? Are you there, Alexandra? Alexandra, I know it's like very early in the morning in Greece. Okay, Alexandra, calling once, calling twice. Okay, then in this case, we're gonna skip. Alexandra, if you're back, let us know in the chat. We're gonna go to Som Kondo. Let me quickly find you. Here we go. Ask to unmute.
Sorry,
Oh, Bob,
I'm
Som Kondo.
actually
Okay,
here.
so Som Kondo, hold on. I'm gonna put you back on mute. Alexandra, are you there now?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh.
I was trying to unmute, but
It didn't work. Yeah, I know. Sometimes it doesn't work for some
Yeah.
strange reason. But
I
hey,
was
I'm
trying to
glad.
unmute and I couldn't unmute.
It's okay. I'm glad we got Zoom in the first place. That's the reason why we can listen and see you from, zooming in from Zoom. Alexandra,
Thank you.
I'm going to give you Oh, you have it already? Okay. So go
Yeah,
ahead.
thank you.
Let everyone know how we can find you and then go ahead with your poetry.
Okay, I'll just read first if that's okay.
That's okay. Go ahead.
Flying 12 from the Flying series. You can see the graphics going by.
Yep, we can see the graphics just
Okay,
beautifully.
thank you. If you're looking for the supreme resurrection of a passion, try finding it in a vision's lair. Volcanoes, lava erupting from Earth's womb. Battle cry, heroic exodus. Breaking all boundaries, achieving the impossible. Invisible and visible entities, striving to rise above life and death. Above narrow values, widening narrow paradises. Wider and wider along the protean journey. Monad, dyad, antithesis, and new synthesis. From each center expanding and fulfilling discovery and power. If you are looking for the finest quality of a creation, Try finding it in a divine spark. Immortality's rays enlightening mortals' minds. Etheric, castric bodies, everlasting vitality. Outgrowing every ugliness, guided by beauty. Thoughts, words, art, giving birth to glorious civilizations. Challenging horizons, freeing from disillusions. Freer and freer along the expansion of Genesis. Logic, principles, discipline, and equals. Wisdom constructing justice, wholeness, and completion. If you are looking for the sweet manifestation of a miracle, try finding it in the human heart flame. Vibrations as rhymes synchronizing with universe's euphony. Endless cycles of sorrow and joy, hope's momentum waning and flaxing. Waterfalls of emotions plunging down the steep cliffs of our existence. Light brightening through darkness, brighter and brighter along our sacred friendships. Seasons, leaves, flowers, and patterns. Warding off evil, regenerating, harmonizing strength and immunity. If you're looking for the archetype of a deity, try finding it in the human soul flame. Earth's devotion, endlessly rotating sun's source. The great absolute energy, propeller of all life, whirlpooling through humans and stars. Seas of sunlight uniting with skies of fire. Stellar symbols heightening cosmic chants. Higher and higher along the mystic path. Water, earth, air, fire, and ideas. Worlds and heavens dividing and uniting in divine proportions. If you're looking for the magical journey of a flight, try finding it in an inner euphoria. Mystical self-revelations taking us up to Empyrean worlds. Thank you very much.
Ron, can you please unmute everyone and give it up for Alexandra, y'all?
Alexandra!
Always soothing.
Gorgeous.
Always so warm and
Beautiful.
credible.
Damn.
Soothing.
Thank you so much, everyone.
I got muted by accident. I love the fact that we have a community where there's so many people who have their own voice. I appreciate that so much. I appreciate what you bring to it. Thank you very much, Alexandra. And Ron, can you do me a favor again? Right now, I'm outside. I'll explain everything to anyone. Ron, can we please unmute everyone? So I want everyone to give it up for Mr. Ron Mark Thompson, our co-host, our producer. Give it up for him. Ron, unmute everyone. I want to hear everyone give it up for you, Ron. There we go.
RMT. Okay.
RMT.
RMT.
Yo, every last homie.
Make sure you go give that dude a follow. He's got a lot of things that he's doing. Right now, I am outside the cafe. And every now and then, I quickly like to remind people about the cafe, especially those who are around the world. Right now, I'm currently outside with Mariella, the First Lady. Hello, you're on Zoom. And I got Huey over here. He's staff. Those of you who've come to the cafe, y'all may recognize Huey. He rocks out at our karaoke after party. And real quick, just want to show you inside, then we're going to get on with the next poet. This is Soul, our host Soul on Mondays. All right? And this is Ralph, our house manager. If you're on Zoom, Ralph, and he's an artist. All right? You see how ill he is? So right now we got a full house, people rocking out. But I quickly want to show y'all what we got some time. So because I'm up here and I'm not in front of my computer, I'm not prepared. Ron, you got to help me out, brother.
I'm not sure who's next on the list right now. Who's next on the list?
That would be some Conto. So this time I'm
Oh,
gonna
Some
unmute
Conto,
him.
that's right.
Okay.
Put that
Yes.
man. I love this dude's energy and his poetry. I can't wait till we get him across the border and down from Canada here to New York City. Some Conto, are you unmuted, brother?
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much to everyone for your poetry. It's a blessing always. And this poem I wrote in light of what's happening with Ukraine. And so I wrote to theme. The thing about children, they do not stop singing their hymns in the midst of a war. For they don't know the difference when souls are being lifted, they sing like they're guiding them home. The epicenter of a child's voice is an explosion, much like an atomic bomb, full with something to disarm all sound, but unlike nuclear weapons, its nucleus is love. It explodes into split atoms with the desire to scorch something already flammable in the soul. Which is why children, although they have butterfly spirits, can risk setting themselves alight with their own laughter and can sing through the fire. Silencing adult song, singing above explosions, even those that consume them all. They often sing as if they're guiding the dead home. The day before Hiroshima, the sky shimmered with a silver lining that would soon shift in alignment, becoming a knot of pain that tightened in the throat of Japan, much like Ukraine. But while the adults could not find both their pulse and voice beyond their tongue, the children sang hymns that stole the hearts of many before their own heartbeats, failing, were pickpocketed by the nuclear cloud that blanketed the sky. So now you may ask why. Why children would still sing loud? Because for children, everything has a silver lining, even a nuclear cloud. Children sing above nuclear clouds, and something tells me that even as a chorus of ghosts ascending, you could still see the musical notes freeing themselves from the silver lining of clouds as their thin light spirits on the weight of butterfly wings brushes against that silver lining as they announce themselves with song to the heavens. Voices whose nucleus is love. Because the thing about children, they do not stop singing their hymns in the midst of a war, for they don't know the difference with chemicals stinging if something was wrong with their songs. The epicenter of a child's voice is an explosion, much like a nuclear bomb, full with something more than just radiation, because it radiates love. Because the thing about children, they do not stop singing the hymns in the midst of a war. I hope that Ukraine is not the same note of pain, because each to their God, and that God help us all. Thank you.
Amazing.
Wow.
Wrote that today.
Down.
You're incredible.
Because
you know he always gonna come through. So just call him Mr. Come Through.
Let's go.
Zoom Conto, always killing it. A mainstay member here of this community. I cannot wait here until I get him upstairs on that cafe stage. Go give him a follow. You see right there in his Zoom box, that is where you can give this dude a follow. Zoom Conto, it is always a pleasure to hear you, brother. It is so great to have you as part of this community. Told you I love this community, man. I love this community. And this next dude I love, and he is the host of our karaoke after party, Mr. Paul Conqueso, aka The Honey Trap. My man, I think it's 80s thing, or I'm not sure it is. Explain to the people what is going to happen on September 10th.
Yeah, so September 10th, we're rocking out at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every second Saturday after Hybrid Show wraps up. We hang around, we lurk for about a half hour. The Phantom of the New Yo comes in, rearranges the stage, and we set everything up so y'all could rock out. Last month, we time travel back to the 90s. This month, it's 80s night. It's 80s theme. So bring your white Miami Vice blazers, bring your Zumba pants. Ladies, bring your leg warmers, bring your neon. come out and come through. It's not mandatory that you choose 80s hits, but it is encouraged. So that's going to happen September 10th. Admission is free for those who already pay to physically get into the hybrid show. But if you want to join us on virtually, pay $5 for the link. If you just want to come through, if you're just sliding through the Lower East Side at like 9:30, 10 p.m. and you want to rock out for 3 or 4 hours, hang out, just some favors with me, always got a red shirt, compliments to Kenny. Then come and chill with us, and it's only $10 to get access to just the karaoke after party. However, I don't recommend that. I recommend you come through for the hybrid show from 7 to 9 p.m. Please come join us, y'all, if you want to get on stage, sing your heart out, and be a star and do something that might embarrass you. It's a good time. It's a vibe.
It very much is. Give Paul a follow at Paul con Queso. He also got to host part of our block party. We brought all of our hosts together and we all took turns hosting. He did a fantastic job out there. Make sure you give him a follow at Paul con Queso and Hybrid. And listen, I love Hybrid, right? We get to bring our Zoom community into the cafe with us, and we get to share this space. And then afterwards, I love the fact that like we let our hair down and just rock out at the karaoke. It's its own vibe. It really is, and I love it. And yes, if you see, my girlfriend Mariella, the first lady, has posted in the chat that if we get 80 people to hybrid, not counting staff, but if we get 80 people to hybrid, I will sing for the first time on the stage at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. September 10th, hybrid. Also, Paul cut out just a little bit in case those of you didn't hear. If you want to join us, now karaoke has its own different link for Zoom. If you want to join us through Zoom with the karaoke, it's $5. You can get the tickets on the website, nuyorican.org. If you're having any issues, it's okay. You can hit up Paul con Queso because you're following him. Go give that dude a follow. All right, let's continue on. Next, coming up to the microphone is Gemelissimo. Let me unmute this man. The beard is growing. The beard is growing. Let the folks know where they can find you online, brother, and then we ready for your poetry.
And when I will put all that in the chat, I'll just say that my next Cafe Generalissimo is next Monday. And also on Wednesday, I'm going to be doing a 10-minute feature for Great Weather for Media. So I just wanted to get that information out. See if this, well, I'll put everything in the chat afterwards. Let me pull up these. Here we go. So the first three are real short poems that recently got accepted into the Alien Buddha Press microdose anthology. It's poems of 21 words and under, and they are still accepting submissions until the 1st of September. So go to their Facebook page or their website. The first poem is called Respiration. Maybe if I just let myself breathe instead of holding my breath for no reason at all, I could breathe easily. The second poem is Whizzle Sniff. When drinking coffee on top of partaking in doctor-prescribed diuretics, one should try to be careful when choosing vegetables. And finally, this is called Why Some People Hoard Latex Gloves. It might be offensive, but it's totally figurative. Sometimes you have to fist yourself to pull the right words out of your butt to say what's on your mind. I have two more poems. The first I wrote in Ray Jane's workshop. Well, it was Ray Jane's open mic, and she had a little workshop. She had a little prompt thing going. It's called, Do I Need to Apply Direct Pressure to My Vanity? Mirror, mirror on the wall. Oh, Disney, please don't sue me for copyright infringement. Sometimes I find myself in a trance when I look in a mirror because I start searching for answers that don't exist in my eyes beyond my reflection. Why do Orthodox Jews cover mirrors whilst mourning? Certain cultures believe mirrors can capture your soul. People who look in mirrors for too long are considered vain and narcissistic rather than contemplative, but a mirror is just a mirror. I will never discover answers or find a piece of my soul that took an impromptu road trip without my permission. For me, a mirror is a necessity for brushing my teeth, washing my face, and shaving. If it should break, I'm less worried about 7 years of you-know-what rather than cutting myself because I'm a bleeder. I'll just do one more piece, which I wrote at a different workshop. It's called You Never Need Reservations on New Jersey Street. Miss Mary Stewart Stevens had me peel potatoes and carrots and snap the stems off the ends of green beans. I didn't mind working for my dinner when she invited me. Her great-grandson, Arthur, who was around 12, was always there. His mother worked a 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. shift at a dry cleaner. There was a drum kit in the middle of Miss Mary Stewart's living room. Arthur sometimes was the drummer for the band at the church choir. Miss Mary Stewart sang in the senior choir that performed on fifth Sundays. She invited me to the homecoming supper at the St. Peter Baptist Church on New Jersey Street in Mobile, Alabama. When I arrived at the church, the tables weren't set up. I thought it was the wrong day. I saw the kitchen light, a beacon to an amazing afternoon and a meal I'll never forget. When I walked in the kitchen, the other ladies tried to shoo me away because no men allowed was a steadfast rule. Miss Mary Stewart said, "This is my little Jewish friend. He's allowed. He don't mind doing hard work." They laughed and waved me in. They gave me hugs, hello, then pointed to some sweet potatoes that needed peeling. I was in that kitchen helping for well over an hour. I heard gossip about people whom I didn't know. What a privilege to be allowed into their kitchen against their better judgment, to be given a succession of bear hugs from strangers that treated me as if I were family. How me and Miss Mary Stewart Stevens met is another story unto itself. I'm not sure we were unlikely friends. We both loved blues and were fans of Coco Taylor, Clarence Carter, Bobby Rush, and Denise LaSalle. Somehow we bonded from the first second we met. Now she has gone to a better place and will always have a place of love and respect in my heart and memories. Thank you.
Generalissimo.
Generalissimo. Yeah.
Let's go.
Last story was beautiful.
Go.
Very beautiful.
Generalissimo, brother, put your info in the chat so that people know where to find you. I know you say you were going to do it right after you perform. People were asking for links to the things that you were talking about. A mainstay member here, the Monday Night Online Open Mic, and a published author. Make sure you hit him up, find out about his book. All right, we are down to our last two poets, and first we are going with Casey Trich. Now, I don't know if Casey's ever been on a Monday, but I feel like, Casey, I've seen you. Have you been on a Thursday or have you been on a Monday? Talk to me. I feel like I've seen you at least once. Where have I seen you?
I've been here before on a Monday, a couple years ago. But then, you know, I went back to work and I lost touch with you. I've been here a couple times. Once on a Monday, once on a Thursday. So happy to be back.
Oh, I'm happy to have you back. I'm happy to have you. Where have you been? If you're talking about a couple of years ago, oh my God, we have been doing this online thing for a couple of years. Casey, well, first off, I'm glad that you were working and getting to pay your bills because things are crazy in the country right now. But we want you back here on Mondays. So you see how we do. Let the people know they can find you online if you got social media, and then we're ready for your fire.
Yep, I'll post it in the chat when I'm done. You'll see a whole lot of pictures of me working out, which isn't bad. Hey, what's up? And I try to post my written work too. So I wrote this poem back in March of 2021. They were passing these crazy transgender laws in Arkansas and Alabama about kids that couldn't play soccer, and it just touched my heart. So I wrote this to advocate not just for the children that couldn't play, but for all children. So I titled this Soccer, and if I have time, I'll do two. So it goes, how do you know my gender? Because of how I walk and I talk and I dress. What else do you assume about me? In what other ways have you been sizing me up? What does my skin color say to you? Is it the right tone to join your team? Are my grades good enough? Am I skinny enough? Or am I too skinny, fat enough? Is my shirt okay? Who decides if I fit in well enough to allow me to play soccer with my friends? Could I speak to them? Is it okay if I wear mesh shorts? My mother gave these to me. Should I not walk this way and adopt this way? Just tell me. I've been practicing all summer. If I need to, maybe I can change who I am to who you want me to be so I can score some goals. Is there a pamphlet or a manual? My friends, Rebecca, Allison, Sam, they're way better than me. Maybe I don't need to kick the ball so hard, But my mom told me I am just as I am, so be me.
Get it if you want. You can get into a second poem. Get ahead if you wanted to.
All right, cool. So this is the first poem I ever performed. Wrote it drunk on a napkin. No title yet, but it goes, your resolutions are bullshit. It doesn't give a shit about the 10 pounds you lost or gained, the cigarettes you did not or did smoke, that guy you fucked or didn't, that wellness journey, that joint you smoked, your new baby, your da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Yo, I'm here to tell you, you are perfect, just as you are. Get down with that low down, dirty swagger. You are enough. Free yourself from that concentration camp of your mind. Your resolutions are bullshit, and I love your ass anyway. That's all I got.
I didn't know you could see my ass, but thank you. Give it up for Casey, y'all.
Come back. Yo, come through. I hope your schedule is open because you have totally just fucked yourself up. You got to be here every Monday now. Like, all of that.
One of us.
Yeah.
One of us.
Napkin piece. Casey, you gotta definitely come back. And of course, flattery will get you everywhere. I am not opposed to the people here on Zoom talking nicely about my ass. I appreciate that. Casey, put your info into the chat of where the people can give you a follow. MJ Black was looking like, this dude, his girlfriend needs to yank him off. We need to, what's he saying right now? What's he saying? It's good to see you, MJ. I hope all is well with you. All right, we are down to our last poet, going to the Bronx, who is, listen, this woman yesterday, right, she was supposed to be in the workshop with us, and she joined us from the workshop, but she's out living her best life, and she's writing lines like, smooth like water, right? And I was like, I've never heard this line, smooth like water. And she's like, like water, let me show you. Then she shows us this big-ass pool because she's outside, having fun. Tabitha, you only wrote that line so you could show us that you were at a big-ass pool at the workshop yesterday. I saw you. Go ahead, sis. Let the folks know where they can find you online and probably pictures and videos of this big-ass pool. And let's get to your poetry, sis.
Advocate, my son plucked me, right? So he heard me saying it, and he's like, "Mom, it's flow like water." And I'm like, shut up. So I want to shout out Advocate's workshop on Sundays. It's amazing. He pushes you to write better, to be better. If anybody and everybody is in search for a class, this shit has been the best class that I've ever been in. I'm gonna jump right into it. I'm Tab 001 Poetry on Instagram. Title: The Gun of a Child. I tried, but it only made things worse. The half-open screens that cry blue shields. Expectations of what a child should never reflect. Picking myself up by the strap, saying the blood of a child needed me. For how strong could a smile be without the trials that tried to break it? I remember the officer that knew my name and how that made me feel. My small body, the dim hallway, I reached the height of his gun. My mother stood on one side and me on the other. Walls of fury hold me like a nightmare holds a child. The officer said things like, "Remember your daughter." My half-hanging ear, a bloody floor. Why is there blood on my mother's floor? I tried screaming in search of a neighbor's heart. Once they told me, scream fire instead. Because they say that with every fire truck, a police car is dispatched. My thoughts have summoned this place that I call strong, where a man has been a preview to an empty plate. A distant relationship we should never call home. And peace.
Ooh, unmute yourself. Give it up for Tabitha.
Yeah. cool. It can be smooth as water. If you need it to be smooth, it can be smooth as water. It's cool.
Like a nightmare holds a child. Whoa.
Flow like water. That's what you were trying to say. Flow like water. Oh my gosh, she said smooth like water. That's what it was. Go give Tabitha a follow. This woman is phenomenal. Tabs, make sure you come to Hybrid. Make sure we want to see your face in the cafe. I know you're busy. Life is life, and we all doing things, but we miss you, Tabs. We want to see you in the cafe. Smooth like water. What do you mean smooth like water? Tabitha from the Bronx, my sister. I adore that woman. All right, so make sure you check out neweurekan.org. This Thursday, instead of waiting for next Monday, right? I mean, I want you to come back here next Monday, but this Thursday coming up in just a couple of days, we have our Thursday night online open mic, which does poetry, does music, it does comedy. A bunch of the people who are here on Mondays, they go over on Thursdays, and then there's some Thursday characters that don't come on Monday, so it's gonna feel like familiar but fresh. It's hosted by Ray Jane, who was a mainstay member of this community and is now a host in this community. This woman did a fantastic job as well hosting at the block party. And like we've always said, the Monday night online open mic is like the circus, and Thursday is like therapy. All right, so thank you for hanging out with me here at the circus. I love the diversity of the voices that we have. We do this every Monday. We'll be back next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Check out the website, neweurekan.org, neweurekan.org. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all that good stuff. Of course, I hope that you would give me a follow, even though maybe you're annoyed with me. You've heard my voice all night. But I'm going to tell you my where you can find me anyway, at Advocate of Wordz. When you spell words, that's with a Z at the end. Well, what? Go give me a follow. I also on YouTube, I got some cool things on there. Make sure you check it out. So, as I've said, you have heard my voice all night long, and as tradition, what we normally do is we end with the Good Night Sweet Poet poem. And I think in year one, I had read it at the end, and I realized, we really want to build community. So we always end with a different poet's voice. You hear my voice in the beginning, you heard my voice all night, but we end with someone else's voice from the community because we are about the community, and that is a tradition that I love. And we are now going to unmute Holly Googe, who is going to take us out. Holly, we are ready, sis.
Okay. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for sharing what you've written. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Good night, sweet poet. May your dreams be as imaginative as tonight's poems. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for inviting the spirit of Miguel Algarin into your home. This has been the Monday Night Online Open Mic, presented by the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, hosted by Advocate of Wordz. On behalf of the community tonight, I, Holly Googe, would like to say good night, sweet poet.